Welcome to Secular Soup. Stay tuned for real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever the fuck else Amy and Amy want to talk about, because this is their show. And get ready for a whole lot of motherfucking profanity.
Want to hear a secret?
I won't tell anybody. Go ahead.
If I sit next to you, I'm gonna get gonorrhea. It's gonna jump into me. Just two ladies hanging out.
Is it okay for me to make fun of his neck waddle if I make fun of my own neck waddle?
I'm not sure.
That's a real ethical conundrum.
Would you know if you were born a lizard person, or can you be like adopted into the...
I think you know.
We're such professionals.
We really are.
Buckle up, bitches. It's time to have some soup.
Hi, I'm Amy with an I, and I'm here with two special guests. I'm here with Aaron with an E and Ocean with an O. Which you guys, I didn't even say it. You guys could have totally said your names.
Yeah. But we would have done that clunky thing where we both tried to talk at the same time, and it'd have been weird.
Yeah, they're like trying to go through a door. You're like,
I'm waiting for the person with authority in the room to give me permission to speak.
Is that me?
And that unfortunately in this environment is you.
That makes me very uncomfortable. I am not a person with authority ever. It's very uncomfortable for me. But we're here with Aaron and Ocean because Amy is having trouble with her smushmorse and needs a break from the show for just a little bit to handle her business. And they've agreed to step in and cover her. And I was going to make some joke about how many people does it take to replace one Amy. But
So many
people.
Yes.
But they're going to alternate weeks starting from this week. So we figured we would introduce both of them at the same time.
And then we're just going to fight over who gets to be on next week.
Basically. Yeah, it's fine. It's practically probably dependent on someone's child schedule, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to name names, but someone's children's schedule.
See, I could have just replaced Amy, but I'm so glad that Aaron's here, so that works out well.
Well, that way you don't have to always do it too.
Yeah,
because sometimes people take naps and they need breaks, and sometimes
and then it's like, who's drawing the straw to call Amy? Okay, not really, but
I'm surprised Aaron doesn't have my number too. You did send me a song. I just got it. Yeah, that was me. I was sleepy bitch. So
you're allowed to be.
Apparently. So yeah, we don't really have a theme for the show. I just figured we could kind of introduce each other. You can get to know each other and just kind of chat and just, talk about that.
Oh my.
So
oh my.
It'd be great.
So who should go first? And who wants to admit how long they've known Amy?
Well, okay, Ocean. Why don't you go ahead and start?
I went back because I've been behind on listening to podcasts to begin with. So I've been listening to some older ones from the beginning of the year, and I'm discovering that my name is mentioned quite often.
Well, because you were listening. We knew you were listening to the live
and so it was just really adorable to me. And it's like, okay, so do people really know just how long?
No, I don't think they know how long we've known each other.
Outside of my roommate who lives with me now, who knew me when I lived in Alaska,
and I knew you
right after I moved there. Yeah. Like I moved there to Texas right after that, and that's when we met. Yep. And so, we've known each other since middle school.
We're not going to do numbers on that, though.
No, we're not going to do numbers. But what's really fascinating
is that... I'm 28. I don't know how old you are, but I imagine we're about the same age.
I'm whatever age you think I am.
Exactly.
Enjoy that. But It's really fascinating because coming from a family of 5, and then you being from a family of 5, and the children lining up almost exactly.
Yeah, almost the same age.
Really wild. And for the most part, we were all friends in that because of the age group. I think our sisters were probably the ones that didn't hang out the most.
Well, my sister was very shy.
And
my sister's weird, and my sister's very shy, and which is weird because now she's like an extrovert. She lives in Austin. She's kind of like funky and weird and stuff. And I'm an introvert. Like, I'm the weirdo introvert, which you wouldn't have known from high school that that's what I would become.
No, you wouldn't. No.
But I am. Like, I am a little homebody hermit person. And
but yeah, listening to you, you faked it.
I still do.
The role in which, you were required to fulfill. And then, how do you turn that off?
I don't. I went over and hung out with friends last night. I was like, the life of the party. And now I'm like, I'm going to go home for 4 days and return. But I think that's always who I was. Always who I was inside. Like school took a lot out of me. But
yes. Well, that middle.
So yes, we've known each other since we were about like 11. Honestly,
forever. Yeah. What's great is that my little sister, she's asexual with 4 children. It's just glorious. Mormonism's a bitch, you guys. Just
your sister is delightful, and I love watching her children grow up on Facebook.
Her oldest, my oldest.
Their children grow up on Facebook.
Keith, the oldest, he's got a boyfriend now, and he's always wanted a boyfriend. I mean, for years and years, he's pined and been the awkward kid drawing a comic to give to their crush. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you giving me this? And I'm going, oh my God, it's me. I see so much of myself in my nibbling. It's beautiful. But he's in so much of it. So what's funny, though, is that he got this weird, he's 18, and he got this weird thing up his butt to just put himself on Tinder. And so the first person he connected to, they are totally dating. They're just the most cutest, adorable thing ever. And yeah, his boyfriend is, his little calls Keith his little fluffy haired boy with the oversized hoodie, and he just adores it. It's like I wish Angela talks about how she catches them spooning as they're sleeping and stuff. It's just so adorable.
I wish that we'd been able to have that kind of relationships at that age. Because like you had more boyfriends than I did at that age. But I always wished I did. Like but there was always that guilt that went along with it. Because you would date somebody, but then there was the guilt. There was so much weight with it. And then I was like wanting to date people. And then I was so held back because there's so much pressure on you.
And the juxtaposition between the two of us, I'm the one walking around going, at least my boyfriend's not in love with me for my chest size.
God.
Because I'm trying to compensate for the fact that these itty bitty titties are itty bitty, but this neurodivergent individual who's genderqueer appreciates that now. But back in the day, it was like, but actually, I didn't date around.
No, you didn't. You just had. I had 0.
Yeah,
you had
but you had like 0, and you had 1. I had like 1.
So, which is 1 more than me. That's why I was like, you dated more than me. It's not like
the guys that were
was the '90s tramp. You were not.
But my mother absolutely thought I was.
Oh yeah.
From
my mother thinks I left the church because it's the easy route and to be a whore.
Yeah.
I was like, I could have been a whore in the church. I saw it all the time. Like
Connie had a cow when she found out I pierced my tongue.
My mom freaked out about my cartilage piercing
for almost 20 years now, and she totally flipped a switch. I've met a girl in high school who had a pierced tongue. I'm like, that's the coolest thing ever. And I'm always sticking my tongue out at people. It's a trademark. And so as soon as I could get my tongue pierced, which was a great experience because I had girlfriends in college who had their tongues pierced, and we're studying French one night at IHOP. And it's like, hey, let's go get Ocean's tongue pierced. So we did.
Oh my God.
But Connie totally thought it was so, I could give really good blowjobs.
You can do that without it. I don't have a tongue piercing.
It's a perk, but yeah, I don't need that. I did not get it for
the
that.
The comment I got this week from the guy that I just started seeing is, I didn't know it could feel like that.
Oh.
He's our age. I'm like, oh well, why, thank you. That's me.
I got another ex-Mormon boy that I'm talking to that's never had that glorious pleasure. And so I'm hoping to let him experience what it's like to be on the receiving end of getting pleasure. Because girls take, because apparently rumor has it, the boy's good at giving, but nobody's giving back. There's no reciprocation. And it's like, that just hurts.
Sad day.
Oh, that's just no.
I get excited when I hear that because then I know I don't have to work as hard.
Anything's gonna be glorious, right? Like they're just gonna be like, ooh.
Perfect. I can save my really, really, awesome enthusiasm for a time when I really want.
You can ramp up to it, and then you're like, "Oh, guess what? That wasn't my A game, bitches." And
Well, and Google's your friend because then you can learn tricks how to avoid that gag reflex problem. Because I can't eat tapioca pudding because of my palate gag reflex.
See, and I just lean into the gag because the guys like it. So whatever. But and then Aaron, how long have I known you?
I'm so glad you asked me that on the spot.
Matt, specifically.
specifically?
To the hour, to the minute, to the second. How closely are we getting?
Yeah. Oh.
Precise.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh, so that's the thing is you were a listener of the show, and
Yeah.
I'd seen your name in like the groups and stuff, and I'd heard you mentioned from Amy a couple times, but I didn't really know you. And she picks me up from the airport and drives me into her lovely small town, and we go to this house, and Aaron is outside waiting for us, and I'm like super embarrassed, like kind of shy because I don't know you, and I'm going to your house. I'm like, hey, hi. But then we stayed up late night, like talking, and I think we were drinking wine or something, and we were silly.
We were super silly.
And your dog with boundary issues was all up in my face, and it was super fun.
She's laying down outside the door right now.
I'm sure she is. She probably has one paw like up against the crack, and
I'm trying not to look and make eye contact, but there probably is.
Yeah, she has some serious boundary issues, but that's what it was like last October when we did the live drunk cast. Was from your basement.
It was. Oh, look at this friend.
I have 2 cats on my bed, but I've been cleaning my closet out, so they're behind baskets.
This is my Toby boy. This is my Toby boy.
You are so beautiful.
He doesn't know that I'm not a cat, and he sleeps on my head.
My scout thinks I'm a cat and sleeps right on my face, and she puts her forehead against my forehead, and I get her to go to the bathroom, and she just like stretches and follows me. I'm like, oh, we're doing this? You're coming with me? You could stay, like.
No, ever since I shaved the side of my head, he's gone to just grooming me. Like I
put coconut oil on my face because I'm a woman of a certain age.
But coconut oil's beautiful.
She licks it. She licks it off my face. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah, no, I don't like it when he starts grooming himself on top of my head. And
no, I throw her off
in the morning, and I'm trying to sleep. Like, at that point, you're done. You're done. Go to my feet at least, like not in my ear.
Right, please.
Oh, I was muted. I coughed and then I stayed muted. So yes, I've known Aaron slightly less amount of time, but
yes, but to my understanding, Aaron and Amy with a Y have known each other for a while.
Yeah, we've known.
And I don't know what while means. I mean, whatever.
I don't know. Small town nonsense.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I mean, for what it's worth, a little trivia. I used to live in Woodbury, Minnesota, and I worked for the House of Representatives. God, I can speak, I swear, as a House page back in 2004.
That's wild.
Yeah. No, it was a wonderful experience. It's really, really trippy. At the time, I was a Mormon. And so I would drive from Woodbury down up into the Twin Cities. And every day, I would drive past the Llewellyn Publishing Company. And I had no idea how to pronounce the name at the time. And I had no idea what it was. But then a couple of years later, I became a baby pagan in southern Mississippi. And slowly discovered that this glorious publishing company that I used to pass every day publishes pagan books. And damn, I wish I had known that and could work there, but, thanks. It's just funny little trivia now at this point.
I passed
that whole... Go on.
No, go ahead. You finish your story.
That whole experience was also brought on by my second husband.
You're going to tell a story about your second husband.
We eventually, but we both worked there. They suggested that I check that out, that they were getting ready to hire house pages, and I should apply. And I did, and I got the job. And they turned around and followed me and applied and got a job at Well. So I've got this picture of all the house pages from 2004, I guess, of us standing there. Now, here's what I do now in 2023, is that I look at it and I'm like, God, there's 4 women in this massive picture of white men in suits and about 4 minority individuals. I mean, there's a little bit of it, but it's like they're all white women. I'm pretty sure there's no women of color in this group. Haven't paid that much attention. I'll go check next time. But I'm proud of this picture at the same point. It's like, look, it's a thing. I did this. And it was really exciting. I had a lot of moments sitting on the House floor, facing the representatives. So I get to see them face on as they're talking, and the amount of times that I had to keep from taking my shoe off and throwing at somebody because I love the sound of their voice.
So they just kept talking.
They just and as I sit now as a non-Mormon,
here. That's why Amy's not here. because otherwise,
she's working as a house page for this.
No, she's just. We need you to not throw your shoe at her.
Yeah, don't do that
because she likes the sound of her own
voice. Well, I just assumed she needed to, focus on taking care of herself, and this could be distracting and kind of stepping away from social media as a whole.
Honestly, that's what's
very
happening.
Good and healthy for people.
Is she needs a minute to kind of line up her ducks, and it's divorce, as you all know,
stressful.
Is so stressful, and
and if you've got kids, that just compounds that stress astronomically. On that end, that I didn't have children, and so my divorces were uncontested.
Oh, man.
But it's still stressful on my just in that I can't even imagine. I'm so grateful that this womb is barren, because having to be attached to those men because of children would have been really. I don't think I would have been able to heal.
You can't.
And I would have just passed on so much trauma to my children. My nibblings are my children. The youngest is my baby. I'm the third parent. But everybody needs a childless aunt, right?
Yeah. My sister doesn't have babies, and she's the childless aunt, and she spoils them rotten.
Yep.
No, I married the guy that said I was his soulmate at 19. So that's who I married. That's who I had babies with. It was not a good idea. Obviously, it was not a good idea. He said he prayed about me, and I, was his soulmate, and I was like, "Cool, you have the priesthood. I believe you. I believe it."
I was listening to that episode just recently to, catch up on some things of past and old ones that I haven't heard at all. And in thinking about my second husband, because it was my second husband that I married in a temple, that I met at BYU, Hawaii. I did all the things. I was a returned missionary, but they themselves went on their mission late. And I realized it's like, what's so different about my marriage to this return missionary in the temple here to the average? I was never given the line that they prayed about it and that God had told them anything. In fact, I had one guy I dated who I'm talking to again now, and we're reconnecting, that they had gone to the temple and believed that God had said no.
Interesting.
And that was frustrating, because looking at present day stuff going, man, there's so many things that could have been so very different if that hadn't have taken place. But I am where I am today because all these things did take place. But yeah, it was one of those things, listening to that, the number of guys that use that priesthood power to control or convert, because that's what Clay did, Connie. Clay converted Connie.
Yeah.
Clay came from a long family of Mormons and converted my mother. And she clung to the idea of families can be together forever. But she also believed, because of all those things, that in the pre-existent, she chose her abusive father and her abusive mother, that she chose, to think that she died believing those things is very upsetting to me.
It's very sad. It's very sad.
Out there that teaches, especially women, but you chose these trials. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
I didn't ask to be choked.
Can you have a little bit more joy while you're doing the dishes for someone who's going to hit you later? Can you plaster a smile on your face? Not be such a bitch about this?
She tried so hard, but she
I did too.
So very much vicariously through me. It's really disturbing.
I think that's a part of the issues that I have with my mother is she didn't realize that my life was an option for her.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the issue is I am free. I am not married.
We're both the oldest.
Yeah.
We're both the oldest.
I'm free. I'm not married to an abuser.
You too, Erin? You too?
I'm out living my life. I date who I want. I do what I want. She doesn't even know half the shit I do. I'm out here. I'm very wild, actually. And I'm just kind of free. And and my kids are amazing. And she has, I think.
I love your children. I've never met them, very much. What little I've seen. Oh my God.
Their mouths.
They got your mouth. You gave them your mouth. And I'm so grateful that you did, because they should.
My God, my kids. So my daughter, she just turned 13 and she just started swearing when she went to high school or middle school. She just started swearing. Before she was like, I don't want to swear, because she just didn't want to, because I don't forbid it or anything.
Right.
But my only rule is don't swear at me. If you feel like
there's a time and a place, context in which such words, I never understood that about swearing. It's just a word,
right?
And then the right place and the right
anger. It was the anger behind it. I was like, if you feel the need to swear at me, go in the laundry room, scream as much as you want, swear, fuck you, mom, whatever, for days. I don't care, and then come out and we'll have a conversation.
And if you stub your toe and you shout "fuck" really loud,
Totally
that's
fine.
fine because it's understandable.
Totally fine.
And science shows that helps.
Yeah. But she just started swearing. And so even now she'll say fuck or something. I'm like, oh, it's baby's first swear. And she hates that because I'm not like giving it the weight it deserves or whatever. So I also tell them they have to be grammatically correct. Like they have to be grammatically correct. Like can't swear like, shit, fuck, dick, butt or whatever. Like let's just use them correctly.
Oh, so. They can't go around and sing some Yankee Doodle Dandy song made up with a whole bunch of cuss words.
Yes,
they walk to the convenience store with their older half brother. Oh my God. I had such a foul mouth in my face when I was little, but Connie would have cringed.
So, and then Aaron, you have 2 boys.
I do. Yep. They're 16 and 10.
I haven't met them. I was busy getting drunk in your basement.
Yeah, and they weren't there. So that's fair. They're delightful, though. They're great.
I believe it. I know Amy brings her boys around your boys sometimes.
Yeah. Actually, they were all here today for a little bit. And before they went back to Dad's house. And so they got to see each other. They got to meet the bearded dragon. Everyone was cool.
Oh, yeah. I've seen pictures of it. I thought it was a euphemism for like your new boyfriend or something.
No. No.
It's like, yeah, this is his bearded dragon.
Yeah, no. I will collect the reptiles, the boyfriends.
Oh, Ocean, you're muted.
I am muted. I started coughing. See, I did what you did.
I do that because I get that tickle in the back of my throat, and then I play the game. Is it COVID or allergies? And so
I blame the cannabis. So where can I find bearded dragons? I want to date bearded dragons. I would love to find
probably a pet life. I don't know.
Is there a? I mean, these gentlemen walking around with these beards that are just speckled in this gray and this silver, and then they're growing their hair out. And Charlie's got this gorgeous brown curly hair. Anyway, I digress.
So you can. Gentleman caller has a lovely head of hair and a
yes, gentleman. Yes, because I think I figured out who that is, and I totally absolutely
he does. He has a great beard, and my new beau actually has a great beard too, and things are weird with him. No, it's I can't explain it. I've been talking to Aaron about it. I'll have to talk you guys off the air.
Yeah, we'll have to.
It's very interesting because we have not had any sex, but it's the most intimate relationship I've ever had. Because we're literally just, we go over there and we just take off our clothes and we lay down and we just talk to each other until like 4 a.m.
That is called intimacy.
Shut your dirty whore mouth. I've never actually had that.
Isn't it beautiful?
I've literally never had this in my entire life, like this level of intimacy.
The patriarchy is trying to keep that from us. Can you imagine? And they're keeping it from the men too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're keeping it from everybody. Can you imagine? I mean, my love language is to create an environment.
He's been married a bunch of times, and he's been married a bunch of times, and I've been, married and in relationships, and I've never had that level of intimacy with anybody, and it's amazing. Yeah,
three divorces. I mean, not three divorces.
Yeah,
but I've been with my current partner for 14 years.
That's huge.
You
were figuring your Mormon shit out.
Oh my God. Well, I married our high school friend's cousin. That was my first husband. So I love to joke that I met my first husband at a family reunion because I did. It wasn't mine, but it was a family reunion.
I've been trying to reconnect with that friend, and it's like hitting a wall.
Yeah. That's complex. That's complex. Well, I found out just recently that my first ex is now back, and I don't know how long. For a while they'd been in Washington State, but they're back in Utah. Like they're right back into the place that they were when he and I were married. And it's like, so glad I'm not a part of that.
Yeah.
He's still repeating the same trauma cycles over and over again.
Yep.
This man was living in Hawaii, the most gorgeous paradise place in the world on the North Shore of Oahu, and would opine about how he missed the mountains of Utah. And don't get me wrong, I live next to the Rocky fucking Mountains in the foothills. The mountains out here are absolutely gorgeous, but I'd be hard pressed to be living and out in Hawaii and seeing those gorgeous views, mountains included, and pine for fucking Utah.
Nope.
That should have been a huge red flag.
Especially the people in Utah. Like you're like, oh, this is great.
So what I did discover just recently, though, is that with my second marriage, I managed to find that safe partner. I managed to find that partner who didn't grow up in an abusive, traumatized, stigmatized household. Yes, Mormon, upper middle class. There's nothing wrong with that. But they accept their children for who the frick they are, and it was no big deal. And I trauma responded to that so hard. All I did was fight because I kept waiting for him to hate me.
I anxious attached.
This safe environment felt unsafe because
that's what I'm facing.
I grew up in trauma mode. I grew up in survival
what I'm facing
mode.
with this person. I don't even know what to call. I don't even know what to call this guy on this show. But that's what I'm fighting inside of me because I'm anxious attaching. I can tell he's anxious attaching. And we're both like, but do you like me actually? Like, but do you actually like me?
But to think that I had in the palm of my hand.
I know.
And I went from that to my third marriage where that's where the abuse lied. I mean, I had some abuse in my first, but this is the third. So I left something that was extremely safe, that accepted me for who I was in all my weirdness.
You weren't ready for
all my fights.
That's
and
what
I wasn't
it was.
ready for it.
You weren't ready
and
for
I
it.
went to this extreme abuse. But in that split, I started making choices for myself.
Yep. So I've known this guy for 10 years.
Mormonism.
I've known this guy for 10 years, and we actually connected romantically about 6 years ago when I was going through my divorce. And both of us were like, we talked about it. We were like, oh no, I don't see this as actually working. Like we had this conversation about how we're not compatible and this isn't going to work. And this wouldn't work because, you know, maybe we're both too subby or maybe this is whatever. And I didn't know, like, I think I had to go through the shit I've been through since then. And he had to go through what he's going through before we actually appreciated what we had, you know,
with Sparkles. And that's what I'll call him, my second husband. Because they go by they now, because we did reconnect back in January. And as we've been talking more and more.
Are they nearby? Are they local?
No, they're out in California. In fact, they unironically hang out in Hollywood Boulevard. They love to people watch. And so that's a lot of our bonding. We spend a shit ton of time in Waikiki just walking around. Not going anywhere, just walking around. We were poor fuckers in the time. I mean, what else are you gonna do as college students, freshly married? I mean, so, but yeah, I lost my train of thought.
They live in Hollywood, West Hollywood.
And so they unironically hang out there, but we reconnected back in January, and they go by theys and thems. And I was talking to them and realized here I was going, that we both probably wouldn't be where we are today with ourselves if we'd stayed together. Yes, it would have been wild, and we would have been able to take over the world. And they called it missed experiences.
Yes, I agree.
You know, it's like I apologize from time to time as I recognize new things about where things were weird there, but it's like I can't change what happened.
No.
And I can't pine for what could have been, but I can absolutely acknowledge the missed experiences of what could have been.
Right, and you can just appreciate the time now.
There's a Moody Blues song that Other Side of Life, and so it's like let's enjoy some adventures on this side of life. And so that's where we are right now. The happiest memory I have right now, because they came out and saw me in February in Denver. And so we hung out together for a couple of days. And so we're standing together in the hotel room, bathroom, as we're both putting our mascara on, getting ready to go to the club to see my favorite DJ that night. And it's like, if you had told me 20 years ago that I'd be standing in a hotel bathroom with my returned missionary Mormon then husband as they're in their tight black spandex pants, oh my fucking God, and they're debating if they should be wearing the choker with the lace bow or not. It didn't match. We didn't go with that. They had matching earrings to go with it as well.
I love it so much.
They were bitching because the shower stall, it's a green hotel, so you know there's no shower curtain, it's all glass, and the shower stall didn't have any ledges for you to put your foot on so they could shave their legs.
I love it.
They had to go find a trash can to flip over upside down to put into the shower stall so they could shave their legs before we went out. And I'm like, if you had told Goody Two Shoe me, trying to be, as I was drooling over my photographer at my wedding reception, who was female, you know, that this was the thing. No, I don't think either one of us would be where we are today.
It's amazing.
And I have no idea where it's going, and for the first time, I don't have fear of missing out.
That's the thing.
Because what is meant
Just
for me
enjoy
will
the
be fucking be there when I get there. And
Exactly.
yeah, enjoy what is in this moment.
That's what I'm telling
Oh my
him. That's what I'm
God.
telling myself. That's what I'm just telling everybody
write
is
it.
I'm
Just
just
write
going
it.
to ride this out or let it go
Mhm.
organically and let because as Aaron knows, we call it our bitch brain. And I tell my bitch brain to shut the fuck up.
Fuck up.
And stop telling me that, just because he didn't text me for like a little bit.
Don't talk to my friend like that.
Right. Like he didn't talk to me like yesterday very much. And then last night he was like, sorry, I think I have, or this morning he was like, sorry, I think I have a cold. I was like, okay. My brain was like, he hates you now. Guess what? It's new though. It's like it's like 2 weeks new. So
Aaron, share.
Yes,
share,
I want to
because
hear
there was
about
all
you.
of this stuff that just got dumped on you, and I'm so curious.
No,
what you
it's
have to
good.
say.
Aaron was not Mormon, so which
I'm
is
not. I did
right.
not. I grew up Methodist.
Okay.
Which fine.
Does
That's
it matter? I mean, it's mainstream Christian. It's just Christian. I mean, I don't think of Methodist as
Methodists they're a little more relaxed about things, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and had the super involved, and then got super disenchanted with all of that, and went on in life, and
she read the Bible and found out that was a load of crap.
Oh yeah, it was interesting, but yeah,
you're like, wait, Noah didn't actually flood the world. That didn't happen.
What?
Yeah.
No, but the musical 2x2 is hilarious. But I digress.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I have done the life and the things and the stuff as of most recently. Like so with Amy with a Y doing her stuff and all of that, she and I are a part of like this group of women who live, in the small town where we live, who all left significant relationships like within the same year. And so and it was really interesting because just this last April, I kind of said to our group chat, like, hey, this is my like 1 year anniversary of like leaving that house and like leaving and really like,
yeah.
And so I was just like, so thanks for like being a part of it. And like, there were people who chimed in who were like, thank you for doing it. Like you were the person who showed me that I could do it if I wanted to. And I was like, oh God.
It's so hard to do too.
Yeah. And but it just like reached that point. So now I'm after a year of like single pringling and settling in therapy and doing the things. Now I'm like adventuring in the wild, and I am also a little wild.
I know you are. I see the pictures.
I know. Oh, I have some interesting things to tell you about this weekend, but
I am very excited to find out about what's coming next month, I think.
Oh, I know a wonderful place where one can go to be untamed, but I'll plug that later.
Okay. Yeah, we can definitely do
that.
I
will go. I will try to go. It's not hot up there, right?
Oh, it's very cold. So you guys absolutely like
it'll be fine.
It's so hot here. It's 96 right now, and it's almost 8 o'clock at night.
If nothing else, you should come camping with me in the summer up in the mountains.
I have a tent, but I'm sure
I've got all the things. I have access to all the things. You just have to bring yourself in. And
I drive an SUV. I can SUV it up to you. Like I can drive.
Yeah. But plane tickets are really, really cheap, and I can provide all.
You see my you can't see my cat, but she's here. She's in the window.
Oh, there we go. I see the butt. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. For a second, Oh, I got to show you really, really quick. Speaking of cats and butts, so Keith, my sister's oldest, back in the day, they had a pottery class, and they made me an ashtray. Yes, it's my ashtray. But this is the thing that I noticed almost instantly and can't stop bragging about it. It's got a butthole.
I love it so much.
Keith made sure that, the cat butt. So speaking of cat butt, but yes, I broke its tail. It fell at one point. So I
had to fix the tail.
But yes, this is the mouse, the cat ashtray. Keith made
so
me
much.
in pottery class.
I love
back
that.
in
Leslie is watching us, Aaron.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
I just want you to know, Amy, that it's 69 degrees here right now.
Oh my God. It's almost exactly flipped from what it is here. Oh, it's so fucking hot.
Yeah. No.
I go outside and I get pink because I'm super redheaded. I'm very Scandinavian, and I start sweating. And then I go over to like boys' houses, and they're like, "Hey," they kissing me. I'm like, "Is this kidding. I'm sorry.
Like,
Don't touch me. Yeah, this is the weather that at home, JJ and I just no touchy. We poke. Love you.
I feel like my everything from my belly button down is just like soupy, like swampy, and I really don't want anyone touching my soupy vajayjay area. Like that feels real gross.
Like makes me feel gross. I'm glad you like it, but right now that makes me feel uncomfortable, so I can't be sexy here.
Right.
So
Like
I live at about 5,000 feet,
oh,
and I camp at about 7,000 to 8,000 feet, depending where I'm at. The bad news is that you should actually acclimate depending on what your altitude is that you live at. But the good news is that coming from a lower altitude to my altitude, the intoxication quickness happens faster. Which means when I go to sea level, I'm screwed. But at this day and age, it's hard for me to get anything. So.
Nice. Yeah. All right. So you have your single Pringle, and now you're wild.
Yeah.
Wilding.
Yes. So how's that going for you? How's the kids doing with that? I mean, does the 16-year-old encourage you to date? Because I keep waiting for the older children to like get in on this dating action with their parents, like setting you up with
my
somebody.
oldest would go through dating apps with me for a while, and that was really fun.
Oh, yeah, my elevation is 559.
Oh,
yeah, see, you'd have to come in a couple of days and stay at my place or my sister's, and then we'll take you up a couple of thousand.
I'm literally like I'm basically like right.
I've had altitude sickness. It's not fun. It's not fun.
I had that.
But we can't get you air in a can. This is the time where it's appropriate to get oxygen in a can.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, so it's there. I don't know. I kind of keep my kids out of the dating thing that we do.
Yeah, I do too.
Just because, I was like, you know what? No, there's I don't need to do that. They don't need to be involved.
My kids don't know anything about my dating life except the gentleman caller who lives with me because he lives with me and our families are very entwined.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking more of the older kids, but you know, again, the childless person, but it absolutely makes sense that at a certain point, because even as an adult, way into after college years, I'm getting emails from my mother about things between my parents that I really wish I didn't know. But it did make it easier for me to go, I don't want to have a relationship with you anymore.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Once a predator, always a predator.
I agree.
Yep.
Or you could be like on me, where my oldest is like, I believe your dad over.
Yeah, that's hard. And see, the thing
hard.
that I remind folks in these positions, because I've seen it in places, and as a survivor myself, is one day as an adult, they're gonna put the pieces together.
I know. Well, the thing is,
and
there's so much evidence.
In the moment, it sucks, and it's
it
so
does.
hard.
It hurts.
And you're trying not to be a dick to their father.
I'm not being a dick anywhere. I'm trying to just be nice. And I'm still just the mom and whatever. But so I was talking about this in therapy the other day, that when my oldest was a child, like a small child, and he would throw tantrums because he was kind of a little neurodivergent, and he would throw tantrums where he would hit himself and just flail. And so I would hold him really tightly and hold him up against me and just breathe really slowly so he could match my breathing as he was flailing. Blanket. I didn't know this. I was Mormon. I just didn't want him to hit, and I didn't want him to hit himself. But I would sit there and hold him and breathe. Like I'd take really pronounced deep breaths and just hold him up against me and give him his space and time to kind of like settle himself, acclimate his own feelings, like whatever, to like calm himself down. And then I let him down, and then we talked. And I was talking about this in therapy, and she said, Amy, right now, by stepping away and backing up, you're doing the same thing. And I'm like, that makes a whole lot of sense. Like I'm not forcing, I'm just kind of like letting them know that I care and I love them and I'm there when they're ready to talk to me.
I love you and I'm here.
So, exactly.
And that's all you can do.
I send, cat pictures and memes, and that's all I do. I not get anything back, but I'm just letting them know that I'm,
You think about him.
All the time.
Because Clay doesn't, no. Mother's Day. I haven't heard from the man in a year and a half. I haven't heard from the man in a year and a half. Mother's Day. I have no children. They send me a text. Happy Mother's Day.
They're like, are you getting your children confused?
I'm like, are you confused of which of your children have children? Because I don't have any children. And my last words to you, that if should anybody ask me about you, I'll tell them you're dead. So why the fuck are you messaging me? which is why I discovered some of the most powerful words that I never thought would exist is, you have the wrong number. I had legally changed my name.
Right.
There are people that are friends with me on Facebook in Africa that know me better than he does, and it's simply because my posts are public. And I told Clay that. Clay has had the door open to him multiple times. No, I don't want to be friends with you, but my posts are mostly public. You're welcome to follow me. You're welcome to know. You remind me so much of your mother. Oh, my sister informed me that this reminder of my mother has to do with the fact that not only am I childless, because my mother obviously wasn't, but I rely on others to help support me because I can't hold a steady job to provide for myself.
Cool.
And because I don't have children. So, I'm just completely fucked and useless. So he totally viewed that way of Connie. And it's like, yeah, no, you don't know me. You don't know me at all. And so I behaved completely like a stranger to him when he texted me that, because at that point, that's what that was. And so when they text me back 10 minutes later, sorry, it was like, it's the only sorry I'm ever going to get from this man.
God.
And it was given to a stranger. And it was. This man does not know me.
That's horrible.
And hasn't bothered to try. And it hasn't been hard for him to know me.
No.
I just, yeah.
I'm still like 14 or 15 in my parents' eyes.
Yeah. Again, I'm glad on one side. I'm glad my mother's dead. I mean, there's a book title.
There's the book.
Now.
I actually want to read that. I want to read. I'm glad my mother died.
You should watch the interview with Trevor Noah on the Daily Show that he did with her, because he was so sensitive and so understanding and very poignant in the questions that he asked her.
Yeah, and I want to read that so badly, because I feel like that's something I would relate to. Like,
my mother grew up in a world of trauma.
Mine did too.
As a survivor, and she didn't really survive other than just to continue to live. And then she tried to live vicariously through her oldest daughter. Yep, she had two children from a previous marriage prior to me.
I didn't know that.
Her parents stole her two older children from her. I mean, there's such an insane, horrible story here of the trauma that Connie went through. And then, I come along and I got red hair and I got freckles. I look so much like her granny, who protected her as much as she could. Yeah.
You saw my parents. They're both brunettes. Your parents both had brown hair too. It was just me.
No, there was the similarities between our two families.
Seriously, because we were the only redheads out of a whole line of my brother and sister were both blonde. Your brother and sister both had lighter hair too.
Yep, they're both blonde hair, blue eyes, and left-handed. Both of my siblings are left-handed. So for the longest time, I'm like, I'm adopted. Fuck
my sister's my blood type's different than everybody's too.
I have no idea what my blood type is, but there was just so much abuse there.
Well, then my line wouldn't work on you in a bar because I asked someone what their blood type is. I'm testing for liver purposes.
As good as mine. Well, I've always been underweight to donate blood.
I can't donate blood because I'm anemic.
I pass out at the sight of needles.
Yeah.
And in the early 80s, I lived for 3.5 years in Italy. And so for the longest time, just me living overseas made me ineligible to donate
Aaron,
blood.
What's your blood type?
And my weight was too low to donate blood. So I just
You don't know your blood type?
No idea. No.
You've had children. How do you not know your blood type?
It's in your medical records.
They fucking tell you.
Yeah.
I'm O negative. Whatever. You guys don't know, bitches.
I don't know.
Hey, that's not too bad it's not a positive. But,
well, no, everybody else in my family is positive, and I'm a negative. So it's weird because it's actually an anomaly that happens. It's possible.
Well, that's the thing that's strange with my family is that there's 3 children. Both parents are right-handed. And only one child is right-handed.
Right.
The other 2 are left. This is not the whole genetics dynamic of an aggressive gene. There should be 2 right-handed and 1 left if there's a lefty at all.
Well, we had the short gene, which was it was a recessive, and all of us are short.
All 3 of you got it.
Right. All 3 of us got it.
You got it the most severe, though.
Yes, my sister.
As far as my limited understanding, I mean, you had major surgeries.
I did. I have major surgeries all through growing up, and then my sister got it also. My brother's never had any surgeries. He's just short.
Yeah, he's just short.
Yeah.
Wow, there's some weird stories about
weird stuff.
Wow. Oh my God. There's no surprising that he went into the career that he went into.
It's very true.
I'm
All right.
so anyway.
Aaron.
I'm
Sorry,
on my
don't let-
med chart trying to find out what my blood type is, and I can't find
She's looking up her med records
my
now.
God, I need to know because maybe your kidney can help me, or I don't know.
Right?
Word on
I'm
the
just-
street is I have two, so
I'm just checking out all my friends for like future organ situations because my kids
If
are
she
both
needs
B
to
positive.
harvest your organs, you know, she needs to know
Yeah,
if it's viable.
my kids are both B positive, so I had to do the Rh negative crap when I was pregnant because I'm a negative and they're positive. And my body was going to attack them. So, yeah.
I'd
This
rather
is
Amy
what
take my
happens-
organs than like a stranger.
This is what happens when I have no makeup on. Is I'm sitting there, my hair looks kind of great, and then I'm just like washed out.
Oh no, I think you look great.
Well,
but,
usually I
you
have
know,
like some kind of
I don't normally do the makeup thing. But
exactly, Aaron. That's exactly what I have. Some kind of pop. Like,
I realize as a redhead though,
I don't do it
doing the
either.
mascara is a good idea.
I
My roommate totally tripped out when she saw me the other day, Thursday morning. She's like, "What's wrong with what's different about your
picture
face?"
is amazing when you did your makeup.
I went to a concert Wednesday night, and so I did the makeup, and I'm like, oh, right. See, I'm actually a redhead, so
Leslie
you
is
can't
A
see
negative,
the
Aaron.
massive. You can't see the really long eyelashes I have because they're so
right. Mine are pale.
Yeah, they're so pale. So I'm like, I'm
My
at least
eyebrows
gonna
are
do
pale.
some
Everything's pale.
mascara and eyeliner or something.
But I have this mascara that I actually do a base coat, like a primer sometimes because it helps it.
Oh yeah.
It helps it look more like falsies almost.
Oh.
And so I put that on, and there's so many times that I put on the rest of my makeup because I let it dry, and I forget to do the coat, and I come out and I have white mascara on. I'm like, oh shit! Like I have to go back in, and it looks like whiteout on my eyelashes.
That's funny.
So, but it's something I found from our friend of the show, America. Introduced me to Lash Princess. It's super cheap on Amazon, and I love that mascara. Like, love it.
Cool.
So,
back when I wore glasses, I did have the
I don't get
problem
paid
of
for
my
it.
lashes hitting
Me too.
my
I would leave lines.
Especially when I did makeup. I mean, if I put any mascara on, forget it. And so, you know, I got LASIK now. So, oh my God, everybody who can afford it should absolutely do
I don't
this.
qualify for it. My vision is so bad that they have to do cataract surgery on me. And I'm too young for cataract surgery because I'm 28. So, and they're not going to do it if I don't need it. So I just wear contacts.
Oh, you can just suffer. Man, I'm driving around the first week after my LASIK surgery going, I don't know why they let people with glasses drive. Like, I haven't felt so much better. My anxiety has dropped so much.
Well, I take pills for that, so it helps. And so I ran out of my anxiety pills last weekend.
Oh, that's okay.
And so I was going through this whole thing. I've been going through kind of a
brain no work
shma breakup. I don't know how to say it. Because we say shmishmorse, so it's a shma breakup. Well, no, so I didn't have anxiety pills. My brain wasn't working. I was like super high stress, and my daughter, bless her heart, in the most southern way possible, wanted to go to the pool every day of the weekend because her dad straight up ignores her at this point right now. So
shame on him.
Oh no,
I digress.
No, seriously. So like, I'm like, why can't your dad take you on his weekends? Because I take her swimming like every time I have her on the weekends during the summer because it's fucking hot. And she was like, oh, we can't because we have all these plans with girlfriend or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And then I was like, why doesn't he take her after work? And she was like, well, he has his FaceTime call from 8 to 10. I'm like, so he's straight up ignoring you after work every night and not taking you to the pool every weekend. Like, so I end up taking her to the pool, and I don't mind because my best friend has an amazing pool. So we just go there and we swim. But then she wants to go to my apartment pool too. Like the next day, I'm like, I am not on pills. I am a redhead. I cannot be outside. I was still burned at that point. I'm like, I can't go outside 2 days in a row. I cannot go outside 2 days in a row. Like, there's no way. So, and I told her, I was like, I'm sick. I'm not on my pills. I can't do it. The earliest doctor's appointment I had was Tuesday morning, and this was Sunday. I'm like, I can't. So, anyway.
Now we have real conversations about mental health and how I'm so fucking sorry. But at least it's not going, what did I do wrong and what's wrong with me and why doesn't mommy love me?
I've had anxiety my entire life. My mom used to tell me that I was just high strung or tightly wound, or, you know, because I would throw up before things like first day of school or some kind of concert because I have such anxiety and I'm
because you're an introvert trying to exist in an extrovert environment.
And so I would get so sick to my stomach. Like if we would go to like a temple trip, which we did that often, I would throw up the night before because I would be anxious about the car ride. Like I'm going to have to talk to people. I'm going to have to ride with people the whole way. And now I realize Effexor makes it so I don't do that anymore. So it actually levels my brain out so I don't throw up all the time unless I drink too much. That's a whole different thing.
That's you did that to yourself. It's me. I'm the problem.
I love that song so much. But yeah, that's it's mental health. I also go to my doctor and she asks me, you know, she's like going through the checklist and she asked me like when she checks my weight and she checks my blood pressure and everything. And then she asked me about my mental health. And I love so much that they do that in your doctor visits now. Because the mind-body connection is so important.
The body keeps the score. That shit's not kidding, man.
Right. Like, and I realized that, like, if you are super upset about something or you're holding memories in or you're not working through trauma or whatever, you are going to be sick. Your body is going to make you stop and rest in any way it can.
Oh, yeah. So
I didn't realize what a big deal this was until I started, like, actually dealing with my shit and realizing how much better I felt. So, I think it's important, and I'm glad that people do that now. I'm just glad doctors realize that now. So,
same.
Also, I'm just gonna keep taking my daughter swimming. I guess that's basically.
I just live in Colorado, so cannabis is my friend.
Love that.
I benzos. I avoided benzos. I've got extreme anxiety, but I didn't want to deal with the addictive problems that can be associated with benzos, and so I learned other ways, but. So, like, due to a car accident, I qualified for a med card with back issues.
I probably would too because I have PTSD.
But now PTSD qualifies as a thing for med card, so I qualify under that with complex PTSD.
I have PTSD, and so that's. But I realized that that's probably why I drink because it does. It actually is a numbing, and because someone mentioned that their boyfriend drinks a lot because of his PTSD. I'm like, oh, same.
I've been blessed to not have an addictive gene.
I don't have an addiction. I can stop drinking at any second.
Yeah. But this is why so many folks with, unfortunately, that gene and that family history, who do end up being addicts on all sorts of things. But yeah, as a borderline, I have borderline personality disorder, and so antidepressant medication is extremely harmful for me. In fact, one of them landed me in the hospital with suicide attempt. So you know, there's a thing there. I mean, when you read the labels about how these antidepressants can cause that, I ran into one because while I've lived in a world of ideation and I've never thought about living long, I've never been actively in that state. But this medication put me that way. But then discovering I'm not borderline. I'm not bipolar. Everybody wanted to diagnose me with bipolar. Doctors are really quick to just throw a medication at you, throw a label at you, and move on. And then one day, as I explained an episode, which would now recognize as splitting, my doctor looks at me and is like, so have you ever X, Y, and Z? And so now it's like, oh, look, borderline. Oh, that makes more sense. Stop doing the medication because there is no medication for borderline.
There isn't. You just have to do therapy and learn how to manage.
There's medication for the
stimulants. I can't do stimulants because of my anxiety. But so we need to wrap up because Aaron has somewhere to be, probably some whole apartment. Am I wrong? It's always whoring, always with the hoeing.
Hey.
Ho, 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 24/70. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's Aaron 2.0. We got to do what we got to do.
That's better. Aaron 2.0. That's better than me. Trying to rhyme shit that doesn't rhyme because I
love it though. It's so good.
Still half asleep. So yeah, we'll wrap up the show. I love that we're going to be doing the shows
it's gonna be fun
together. It's going to be so much fun. And we're just kind of introducing everybody. The next couple of weeks, it's going to be Aaron with an E and Ocean with an O, shaking it up. And yeah, it'll be great. So you can leave. I'm going to go ahead and start the exit and enter extra, and you can just leave. So, and I'll just wrap it up myself. So, love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye. Let me do this thing.
Do the thing. I have to pee.
Yeah.
Patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and pho. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.
Thanks to all of you motherfuckers who put up with the Amy's droning on week after week. If you enjoy their delightful bitchcraft, please follow them on all of the social medias and send them all of your money on Patreon or PayPal. You can find them on these platforms by using the Google machine. It's not hard. If you want to bitch with other fans about the show, join the Secret Soup Talk Facebook group. If you want to tell Amy and Amy to fuck off personally, you can send an email to secularsouppodcast@gmail.com, although it may go unanswered. Please rate and review the show on iTunes, Facebook, and wherever else you can review things like this. It will help spread the soup gospel far and wide. And hey, text someone right now. Tell your friends. As always, we'll leave you with the vocal stylings of Mr. Eli Bosnick.
Secular soup creed. Soup is the ultimate virtue. It's delicious, nutritious, patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. Minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and pho. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.